All right, JT, today, hey man, we're gonna do two things. We're gonna make a sign out of 3/8 inch rebar. So we're gonna be bending this and then creating a sign for the garden. So this might be in two parts. One's gonna be doing all the bending, getting all the pieces together. Second part might be the welding it together and then putting it up and finishing it. So let me show you some of the equipment we're gonna use. Then I'll be demonstrating how to bend the rebar, how much you can bend it, and some of the limitations of just bending it without using a torch or any heat. We're gonna do cold bending of rebar, and we're gonna make a sign out of it. So here we go. All right, some of the tools I'm gonna be using today, of course, I'm gonna use gloves. I'm gonna be wearing gloves the whole time. We've got a mask as we, of course, to protect my eyes, especially when I'm doing the angle grinder and cutting of the pipe. This is our 3/8 inch rebar that we're going to be using. Great for our purposes, not like we're doing any big structural stuff. This is all just decorative. This is a 1/2 inch galvanized pipe. This is kind of key for bending the wire, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. Angle grinder with a 4.5 inch a cutoff wheel on there. We'll be using that. I use this magnetic bowl just to keep my small parts in because inevitably you're going to have pieces left over. I like to keep them in one place. I can use them for several other things. This is just a piece of wood I use because this is going to be kind of the size of the letters I'm going to use. So I just use this as a standard. I'll lay out my word or whatever it is for my sign. So I'm using that. Easy enough? Let's get going. All right, so I'm going to keep it pretty simple. So the only tools I'm going to use is this vise, this pipe, and rebar. So I'm going to start with probably the toughest letter you're going to do is like an S. So I'm going to start on the top and I'm just going to bend and then bend, and it's going to be critical to use this pipe. So here we go. I want to cut off a little bit right there. All right, that's a good start right there. I can probably squeeze that down if I want to, but there's an S. So let me, I'm going to keep working. Going to cut some more letters and I'll show you what I come up with in a few minutes. I'm going to show you a pretty common either N or M, and the limits to what I can bend with this vise and this pipe. Okay, one thing. So why am I using the pipe? Well, what happens is when you put this pipe on the rebar, I can get really close to the bend without the whole bar kind of just bending, right? Like just kind of folding over. I want to do a sharp bend. or right there in the middle. So I'll show you. Let's try to do like an N or a V. I keep it real close down here. All right, so that's kind of where I am right now. And then I can put the whole thing in the vise and squeeze it down. So let's do that. So now you see I'm getting it bent pretty good. When I release the tension on this vise, it's going to open up a little bit. So I'm going to kind of over squeeze it. But again, notice no heat. We're not putting any fire on this. It's not snapping yet. I've never had a piece break on me yet, but so far so good. All right, so that's pretty good. So I can cut this off to size based on my board and how tall I want these letters. So that's what I'll do. I'll cut those off. So as you can see, pretty straightforward. I can put a 90-degree angle in here to do an L, an F, an E, kind of whatever. Be creative, but this is going to work just fine. All right, so spent a little time, probably about 2 hours of bending and cutting. Definitely gonna need to do some grinding. Had a little creativity to come up with some of these letters, so it's been a lot of fun putting this together. So in the next video, I'm gonna turn it all over, weld it, grind it a little bit, clean it up so there's no sharp edges, figure out some bracing to put the letters on, and in a stand to put it out by the garden. So, you know, how hard can it be to make letters out of rebar? Well, it's not so hard. You really don't need a whole lot of tools. I've seen a lot of really creative tools on YouTube for bending and making circles and doing some really interesting things with rebar, but with one vise and one pipe, you know, I got a lot done, and hey, we'll go from here. So see you in the next one.